You are watching a master at work.
So what you telling me is you not in the mix? Nah, man, the mix. What's the mix? Oh, man. It's the livest talk station out right now, man. Stop playing getting the mix with your boy Kid 6, you heard?
Watch this. Watch I get here every week. I tell her we gotta get in the mix. Every week. She's never ready. Never ready. How does she expect us to get the latest on the latest if she's never ready? Watch this. Why she don't be ready? What are you doing? Yo, you're sleeping and the mix is about to start. Come on, bruh. See, I'm leaving, man. I can't even get in the mix over here, man. Oh, man.
Man, if you're not getting in the mix with Kid 6, what is you really doing, baby? Tune in right now.
Get in the mix with Kid 6, you heard?
What's good, everybody? You are now tuned in to Radio on Fire. It's your big dog, Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest Carlton, your dig, and your girl, Leah.
With no Towson gear. Happy
You are
Tuesday.
in the mix. As you can see, we represent, man. We holding it down for our HBCUs, man. Wow, your girl, Leah.
She holding it down for her school, too.
Yep. White universities. See, so you are representing. You
Absolutely.
are representing.
For what it's worth.
What's going on, Mixxers, man? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
It's a rainy day, but it's a good day.
It's been raining a lot. Well, not really. Just Sunday.
I know it's been a little bit
It's been a lot of rain.
Nah, today was OD and I'm not even gonna front. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I
it a buck.
don't own an umbrella, but today I made sure I was not gonna get soaked. So I stole one of the cardboard boxes at my job and used it as an umbrella.
Apparently it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
We tried.
That's innovative.
That's what I'm saying, man. We gotta be creative somehow, some way.
Okay.
So that was my umbrella, and it held me down. I was dry.
You need to get an umbrella. It's just what it is.
I know.
Okay.
I was supposed to over the weekend, but it slipped my mind.
Don't you look at your weather app?
Nah, I was supposed to get a umbrella, but it slipped my mind. Like, you know how when you go to the grocery store and you try to get everything you can? Mm-hmm. That one thing just slipped my mind.
Went in that joint, grabbed everything, but the one thing
But the one thing he
exactly.
one thing,
right.
That happens though. It does
The
happen.
one thing, so that blew me a little bit. But it's all good, man. It's all good. Shout out to our sponsors, Sour Life Clothing Line, Capture the World, and Rich King Brand.
Yep.
Always holding things down.
Oh, speaking of
Rich
King Brand.
Oh,
What's going on?
okay.
Special delivery alert.
Oh,
Shout
special
out to the good
delivery.
folks at Rich King Brand.
We might have to play some Diddy after that.
Might have to,
We might have to hit him with a Harlem Shake. You know how to Harlem Shake? Harlem
Don't
Shake.
embarrass myself.
we got a little bit of merchandise in here.
Okay.
From the good folks at Rich King Brand, you know.
We got these
We got a
shirts.
couple shirts.
Oh, that's
We
fire.
got some sizes and whatnot.
Was that a small?
It's actually.
Okay.
It looked like a small.
This is
Yes.
yours.
Let me take this one.
So if in class, you don't worry about it. We got one for you too. This is your size.
Oh my God, look.
Okay.
We can pass that.
So F in class, you got the red holding things down.
I'm totally rocking
Oh
this
yeah, and these
next
two, they all mediums. You know, these four.
Oh, all right. Oh, we lit. We
Hold
lit.
it down.
Oh
Hold it
yeah,
down.
I'm trying. Yeah, I like that green.
Let me put this in the camera real
I ain't
quick.
gonna
Oh, that's
front.
small too. Is that a whole black?
Okay.
This
Now,
this
these
is
is,
green is fire. I just
blue.
need
They
y'all
both
to
navy
understand
blue.
that.
Oh, they both
Yeah.
navy blue? Okay,
Yeah.
this is gray. Who, me? Oh.
Who?
They mediums. Bro.
Always
Just
get the lit
relax, bro.
colors, yo. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, yo.
She mad.
It's a great day. It's a great day. Special delivery. Shout out to Rich King Brand.
Thanks, Rich King Brand. We
yeah,
rocking
yeah,
these
yeah.
next week, so we could be in unison next week, right?
Yeah, we can.
Oh yeah, we can.
Okay, we
We
can.
can,
I'm
and
wearing
we
a
will.
Rich King shirt, so I'm going to wear it next week.
All right, bet. Don't forget.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna forget.
All right, cool. If you forget, you know you're going to get blessed with a whose man's is this, right?
Oh, I know.
You know,
All
his
right,
finger
cool.
on the trigger
Yeah.
at all times.
We
And why'd you
waiting.
end up forgetting? Like you forgot your umbrella.
I'm not going to forget.
Okay.
It's crazy because even if he forgets, he will not forget to give you a who's man for this.
Damn right. That is
Right?
that is a whole
That
fact.
is so whack.
I just need y'all to understand that. We're going to jump right into what you mixing up.
What we didn't say how people's weekend was.
Weekend was good.
Weekend was good. I had a good weekend.
It was real chill for me. I'm not even going to lie.
I would agree.
Yeah, it was kind of chill for me too.
Okay.
It
Everybody
was
had a chill weekend.
It was a regroup
Oh, yeah.
weekend for me.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
after the
'cause you
weekend
needed it,
before.
yeah.
Yeah. So hit the gym and relaxed.
Okay.
So I can't even complain. Caught up on my shows. Yeah, so
What
that was
shows you
good.
watching now? Because Power
Yeah. So you know, I be
for
watching
this
the
week.
Wu-Tang series
How's
on
it?
Hulu. It's dope.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was watching that all weekend too.
Yeah.
All weekend.
I want to catch up on that.
You gotta catch up.
Yeah,
on
you
that.
got to.
Well.
You got to. It's cool. I got you on my login info.
All right, bet.
Oh, yeah.
got
And
you.
if we don't, I'm
Man,
pretty
listen,
sure one of
man,
the
hold it
mixes.
down.
I know
One of the
the
mixes out there got a bless. Or
Big
something.
Yes.
facts. Big facts,
Yeah.
man. You know, hold it down, man. But
feel
I
me?
got you covered on that.
So that whole rumor about Xfinity taking away stars, is that true?
I believe it is.
Oh, my
Apparently it
people
is.
got Xfinity. It sucks.
Facts.
I feel like part of the reason why they're trying to do it though is because you know how like the whole streaming, we like in the whole streaming era right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of these streaming companies, they're like, we don't need you cable companies. We can just
Right.
you can just stream directly from our app and just pay us directly. And they might be at war with Xfinity because of that. And Xfinity like, well, we gonna see if y'all can really do it without us or something. And now they're trying to get them back in there. So
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Word. It's all
they
good.
gotta at least let us finish Power, man.
That's
I
what I'm
know,
saying. How they gonna
right?
try to do this when
I
like it's 2
know.
episodes left?
Plus the additional 5.
Oh, they do have that. That is right.
They
Oh,
really
yeah,
doing
yep.
people dirty.
Well, it's cool. I got somebody's login, so I'm Gucci. They not with Xfinity either, so I'm
Who
straight.
they with?
I think they with Verizon.
Oh yeah, you good then? You
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
So for those who,
How you always getting people logins? Like I don't understand who
listen,
just
I'm
be
the plug, man.
Yo, I don't get it. You got
I'm the
plugs for
plug.
everything. My God.
Yo, the plug, man. The plug.
So you've
Listen.
been watching all the power with the plug, huh? Okay.
Yup. Shout out to the plug, man. Shout out to the
Really, I'm
plug.
the plug.
What you mixing up?
Yes.
You know we got some sports. Start off with the
Yeah.
NFL. Patriots embarrassing the Jets last night on Monday Night Football, 33-0. Jets quarterback Sam Darnold said he was seeing ghosts. It is the month of Halloween, and he was mic'd up. And yes, he did say that.
I ain't gonna front. He was throwing it to them ghosts too.
Yeah, he was.
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions.
Good Lord, they beat the sleeves
Listen.
off the Jets last night.
The Jets.
Yo,
I'm
one of
trying
my
to tell you,
mans-
this is a Jets team that just beat the Dallas Cowboys last week.
Oh yeah, I got a whose mans is this later too for one of my mans. He's a Jets fan.
Oh, my God.
Guess who he said was gonna win last night?
He said the Jets was going to win last
Your
night.
face like what?
They like did the total exact opposite from like they
really
wasn't
thought-
even close.
I'm not even going to lie to you. I know everyone doesn't want to see this happening, but this Patriots team really looks like another Patriots team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I hear that we play them next week, so we might as well be like 5-3. I believe. I think we might not be.
It's going to be a good matchup, though. It's really going to be a good matchup.
Okay.
Got some beef with them. They talking about this Patriots defense might be able to match up with the 85 Bears defense. I don't know about all of that
Hey,
right
I don't
now,
know, because
man.
your Bears been looking a little sluggish, bro. It might be time to move on from Mitchell Trubisky.
Bruh, he just and Nagy.
Yeah.
How we got a coordinator that ain't right. We got a quarterback that's not good enough. Because I don't want
Yeah.
to say he trash. He just not good enough.
Right.
This is NFL, bro. You can't throw past 7 yards.
Yeah, it's got, listen, at least you don't have a quarterback like Sam Darnold who's seeing ghosts.
Yeah, at least he not seeing ghosts. Shout
That's a
out to
fact.
Mitch for not seeing ghosts out
Yeah,
there.
definitely, man.
So why we clowning him that he said he seen ghosts? Like,
Yeah.
I believe in ghosts with spirits.
Of course
He
you
believe
do.
in ghosts too, because he's seen them out there.
Yep, he's seen them.
4 times.
But legit, y'all don't believe
He
in
gave him
bad
the
like
ball
seeing
4 times.
spirits?
I mean,
No.
yeah, I ain't never
I do.
seen one on the football field. Or
Well, not the
basketball
football
court or
field, see, no,
Ain't
but
just
just
in
in
the
the-
yourself in
outfield
the
or
mirror
nothing
every
like
day,
that.
so I believe.
You know what? I'm gonna be hate you so much.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
So annoying.
But there were some NFL trade moves that were made. So the Patriots, they traded for wide receiver Mohamed Sanu from the Atlanta Falcons, sending the Falcons a 2nd-round pick for him.
Yeah.
So imagine
Why would they help them out?
losing to a team that beat y'all while y'all were up 28-3, and now you go to this team to potentially get your first Super Bowl.
That was retribution. They were just like, bro, at least help one of my men get a ring. You know what y'all can have.
Man, oh man. And then the Broncos, they sent wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders in a 5th-round pick over to the 49ers for the 3rd and 4th-round picks. 2 undefeated teams made some trade moves today.
You know, the draft in the upcoming years is about to be crazy.
Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you. But moving on. Tonight is the night. NBA season is
I'm
back.
so excited.
Oh, you know I am.
Come on, man.
You know I am.
He ready for that Lake show.
Man,
LA,
listen.
I guarantee LA is a movie right now.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm staying up for this game. It comes on at 10:30.
You know that's past your bedtime.
I know, but guess what? I will be
Oh.
up past my bedtime tonight watching this game because I'm amped up. So you know
Who
you
they
got the
play?
Pelicans and Raptors at 8:00 on TNT.
We know
Okay.
who you rooting for.
But
Of course.
the Pelicans will be Zion list for about 6 to 8 weeks. So in the NBA, that's really about what, like 30 games he's missing?
6 to 8 weeks. Let me see. Close. I want to say more like 20 to 25.
Okay.
If they play like 3 games a week, maybe 4.
Yeah, he has a meniscus injury. So just don't try to rush that young man back. Let him heal, get right.
Yo, that's been one of the debates though, cause he like 285 pounds and he lives above the rim. That's a lot of like force on your joints when you landing and doing all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And people was worried about that because they was like, we never seen nothing like this before.
Right.
And then remember at Duke, he had the freak injury when he exploded out of his shoe and sprained his knee.
Yeah.
And then after that, he bumped knees in the summer league, the same knee.
Yeah,
And
dude,
then I think he did it again in preseason, toward the meniscus. Man,
This kid gotta be careful, man.
you'll have to lose some weight.
Yeah, he definitely is. That's for sure. That game is at 8:00. They play your Raptors, so I know you're looking forward to that. You probably not even gonna watch it.
Probably not, but still.
Fake ass fan.
No, I'm always gonna rep Toronto.
And then
Whether
you know
I watch it or
the
not.
game that everyone's anticipating, Battle of LA, Lakers against the Clippers at 10:30. So you know I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Man,
You gonna fall asleep?
Nah, I'm going to stay up.
You
I'm
gotta
gonna try.
stay- you gotta stay up for that one.
I gotta stay up for that one. Like
You be struggling.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to keep myself up. Like I
Okay.
gotta stay up. MJ ruffled some feathers
he
with
did.
a comment.
He did.
You know, everybody had to go to Twitter about it.
Of course.
So the GOAT himself says that Steph Curry isn't a Hall of Famer yet. So,
He said
you know,
that.
Wait, what was his reason?
He
I had
didn't-
to, I had to,
he didn't
I had to
give
He
talk
didn't give
to,
one,
I, did-
okay.
I had to talk to my man C, because I'm like, yo, I think I might have to bless MJ with a whose man's is this, but then he made perfect sense. So I'm like, all right, then I might not have to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically because, you know, I guess if you say any, like if you're a GM or a head coach and you say anything about a current player that's in the league right now, they more so look at that as tampering. Anything.
Yep.
You could say he had a hell of a game. You will get fined somehow, some way. That's tampering. So I guess for him, MJ was like, you know, he's not a Hall of Famer yet. So that way he doesn't get hit with tampering. Which
Okay.
kind of makes sense because, you know,
It happens.
Magic
It's petty.
Johnson was doing his thing last year, making comments, and then he was getting fined for tampering.
They
How
find
do you
Doc
consider
Rivers.
that tampering? Like because you have an opinion about something.
Because he's an owner, they
Yeah.
pretty much look at it as like if you making it any kind of insinuation towards a player being like suitable
Great.
or something like that, being great, they look at it as like you could be saying that indirectly to try to sway him to come to your team. Even
Okay,
if they
gotcha.
ask you a question. That's what happened with Doc Rivers too. They asked him about somebody, I forgot who it was, and he was just like, yeah, I think he's great. My team would have been like this. Of course we would have tried to get him. And somebody asked him the question.
Right,
They
I
find
was
him.
gonna say. So when you
Yeah.
ask this question, you just gotta curve it and just don't take the bait.
Or do what Jordan did. And,
Right.
and part of me thinks that Jordan was joking too,
Okay.
because you know the whole 73-9 is that better than 72-10 Bulls. He probably just like, because Jordan has been known to say stuff like that. But for the players period, Kobe did. This was after Kobe retired. It was like, Kobe, who you think the best between you, LeBron, and Jordan? He like, come on, man. Of course I'm gonna say me then Jordan and LeBron. Like, what do you,
Right.
What do you expect me to say? Like,
Yeah.
But when you really look at it, we all know that Steph Curry is definitely a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
First ballot.
If he was to retire today, he's definitely guaranteed first ballot.
First ballot.
Off rip.
Yep.
We already know that man's got game. For all of our baseball fans, Game 1 of the World Series is set for tonight. Houston Astros against the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
So we'll see how this happens. We'll see how
gonna
this
watch it?
series go. Now, I'm not really a big baseball fan,
Okay.
but they are saying that this Houston Astros team is like that.
Yeah, I'm a baseball fan, and the Astros actually have one of the largest odds, like in Vegas, to win the World Series this year. So the odds are stacked against the Nationals for all the DC fans out there.
You think you think this is going to be a clean sweep?
I don't know if it's gonna be a sweep because it was a long season, and they both, put it this way, It was a long season, and they both the Nationals played well throughout the whole season. Not the Nationals. The Nationals played well like towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because they almost didn't even make the playoffs. They ended up making it. It was like they got better at the end. And the Astros was nice the whole entire season.
Yeah, because they won like 107 games.
107 games. Number one seed.
It was balling.
And aside from that, they kept it on through the playoffs. But just like, just like we could say like the 73-9 Warriors, when they got to the playoffs, they was like kind of winning. They was still nice, but it was like we might have to take a night off or something like that and take this L just because we tired of giving it out all or whatever. So
right.
I don't see it being a clean sweep, but I don't think the Nationals are going to win.
Okay. Sorry, DC fans. I know
Sorry,
you guys
DCers.
are happy to make it to the World Series, but
First time for everything.
first time for everything, man. Moving on, we have some news. Rest in peace to Elijah Cummings, who passed away on October 17th at the age of 68.
He was a
He
great
was a
one.
member of the U.S. House of Representatives for Maryland.
Did they find out his cause of death?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't
I'm
know.
not
I
sure.
don't know if they reported the cause of death, but
Yeah, I'm not sure, man, but our condolences
yeah.
to his family. Moving on to some entertainment. Lori Harvey was arrested after a hit and run over the weekend. It's been reported Lori was texting and driving when she ran into another vehicle. Now, allegedly, the driver from the other vehicle reportedly helped her out of her vehicle when her car flipped over and then attempted to flee the
she
scene.
attempted to flee the scene,
Man.
but then got caught
She
up.
tried to get out that jam.
And then called her father, Steve Harvey, on FaceTime.
Is that a call for whose man's is this?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yes, but people try to flee the scene all the time.
They
But
all
you-
need a whose man is this.
Yeah.
Anybody try to flee the scene.
Yeah.
Like, seriously,
They did.
why-
Especially for an accident like that.
The person helps you out and then you try
Right,
to
and you
run.
try to run. Right. That's what I'm saying. For an
Then you
accident like
FaceTime
that.
your father.
Yeah, she did.
What's Steve Harvey gonna say?
That's-
What in the hell is going on here? What are you gonna say, man?
Right.
Get
So
the
for that
hell your
reason,
stupid ass run for. That's what he gonna say.
What for? What? You know, he
and
one
for
of
that
them-
reason, that's why she needs to get a whose man's is this. For
Facts,
that
yeah,
reason.
so we definitely
not
gonna
like you
get
just
her-
like nipped the car and kept going. You know, you don't need to stop. for
You
that.
flipped your
But
whole
flipped
whip.
your
You
whole-
really thought you was gonna get away?
The V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
you're definitely
She's
getting a
lucky
whose
she's
man's
even
is this.
alive. Like, and then you try to run.
Damn, beauty, no brains.
Isn't she? I've seen that she's reportedly dating Future now.
Again?
That's a battle. That's like a battle. They like this.
Who?
I
Hey,
read
what?
these
What?
reports. I don't
Engaged.
know.
What?
But clearly says she and Diddy split because it was reported that he cheated on her with some Latina, and now she's with Future. But I mean, you can't read everything you see on the internet. But that was the latest report.
I don't even believe they was ever together. Even
I
if
don't
they
believe it was
was
ever
dating.
together
I don't know.
either to some degree. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm looking at this latest report of Diddy on one of his sons' joints again.
See what I'm
Another
saying?
one?
They never
Oh.
dated?
She came out with a statement.
Oh,
Okay.
alright. Oh,
Alright.
like Diddy, you gotta chill out, fam. Like you can't keep
Doing that.
eyeing your kids' joints out here, bro. Like you
wild.
wildin'.
You
Like,
are insane.
go get somebody your age, dog. Like you had your time.
No, she said she knew them for 10 years, and he's single, she's single, and they friends.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Diddy. So.
That's
Okay.
Okay, you
we
saying
gonna-
okay?
Friday.
see,
Okay,
we gonna stick with that
yeah,
story, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna
Well,
stick with.
you know, we'll come
Take
back
that,
out.
take that.
You know, okay.
How old? That's why I
It is
asked.
old, you
That's
know?
why I asked.
Damn, man. Issa Rae launches a record label called Radio, RAEDIO. So shout out to
Shout
her.
out to her for
Her
that.
first artist is a Haitian American rapper / singer, T Mar, who has a single, "Kinda Love," that was released.
Okay.
So shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what's
I
up.
like that. Out here doing big things, man. Black girl magic, do the damn
And
thing.
should be coming out back with Insecure this year.
Yeah.
I feel like
Focus
I
on that.
forgot like
All right, focus
what
on that.
happened last season.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like this summer was a little rough without Insecure.
We survived. We had power. Even though
mean,
it was
we
the
had to
tail
wait.
end of the summer.
Yeah, we had to wait.
She
Like
needs to give us a
imagine
recap.
really just trying to like do stuff to kill. I started watching all 3 seasons of Insecure again just
Well,
to,
this is a good thing. So now you be caught up. Because again, I don't even recall what like the last
Yeah.
thing that happened.
but I shouldn't have to do that.
No, not for a show like Insecure.
Yeah, she got us messed up.
Yeah.
Don't do that again, Issa.
Listen, man. If you're listening out there, please answer these prayers. 'Cause you wildin'.
Answer these prayers.
You wildin'.
For real, man.
but-
I'm definitely looking forward to this season though. Kanye is set to drop his album Jesus is King this Friday.
Kanye's been getting a lot of heat. Like, he just cannot catch a break.
I mean, it's Kanye.
I know, but I do wonder if people didn't, like, if his whole issues wasn't exposed, would he get as much heat as he gets? And people just like, he's crazy, he's this, he's that. I just kind of feel sorry for him. You know, he just doesn't ever catch a break. Even some stuff that he does is questionable, yes, but, you know.
It's Kanye, man.
I feel bad for him.
It's Kanye,
I do.
man. I don't know.
What do you, when you say it's Kanye, what do you mean by that?
I mean, because this isn't anything new. Like, this has been going on for years now. So at this point, I don't even understand why people continue to get frustrated with him.
Do you guys think that he's going to continue on this, not doing secular music anymore? I'm going to just do Christian music. What do y'all think?
I highly doubt it. I think he's
But
gonna
I
continue
mean,
doing
if
it.
y'all think about it now, if he does not stick with it and he goes back, he's going to get flamed. Because people going to say he's a hypocrite.
I think he's going to get flamed for everything he does.
That's
he got
true.
flamed for saying he's not doing it no more. Then if he go back, he's going to get flamed for doing it again.
Yeah, he like to say he can never catch a break.
He's going to go back to it. So he just needs to get ready. He's going to get flamed.
Right.
But I'm going to definitely check this album out.
It might be dope.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to check it out this weekend.
Okay.
Do y'all have any more entertainment news?
No, I don't.
No? Nothing?
Nope.
So you ready for tonight?
Oh, God.
Go ahead. Throw your little disclaimer out now. Before we get into that, listen, Mixxers, if you guys are tuned in right now, I need y'all to understand this. The phone line is open. Okay? Call in 404-436-1277. Again, 404-436-1277. Call in. Do not text me any of your responses. I'm not reading them off. I do apologize, but I'm not doing that anymore. You now have the number. Feel free to call in.
Get in the mix.
Get in the mix with us. And that's that.
Okay.
We actually had someone who's going to get in the mix with us as well. So you won't be alone tonight.
Okay, we're introducing this person, or?
I guess she's gonna come in soon, but it's cool.
Okay.
You could go ahead and let everyone know the discussion
so
for
we
tonight
all
that
know
you don't care about.
I don't. That's just a disclaimer. I'm going to start the conversation. You guys, I don't care about this whole PWI HBCU debate. I actually think it's very pointless to have this conversation.
Nah. When you say this, you make sure HBCU goes first.
PWI versus HBCUs.
That's your problem now. You whitewashed.
I don't care. And apparently a lot of our mixers don't really care either. But, we pretty much say, look, it's a debate tonight. So just tell me your thoughts about, where you went, how you felt about it, your experience, all that good stuff. So my first mixer just said he's HBCU and he shot out his school, NCCU. Do y'all know what NCCU? North Carolina
Central.
I thought that. Okay.
My
second mixer said, I just had this conversation. I wish I had graduated from an HBCU. Boo. It's like, that's my problem right now.
Yo, that is your problem. So what's wrong with the community?
I feel that I've missed out on so much. I've attended school from 3rd through 12th grade. It was like St. Matthew's High School. I completed various educational programs, Hopkins, CCBC, UMBC, and graduated from the University of Baltimore. Shout out to that, with the Coppin Collaborative. That's the closest thing to an HBCU I've come to. I've chose to join Psi Chi with Coppin's interest. Instead of UB, and regrettably, that's the only black college experience I've had. I'm so happy that my daughter graduated from Oregon State.
Shout out. Okay, that's a Give a round of applause.
I hope that my grandsons will decide to attend the HBCU as well. If I can do it over, it will be an HBCU from beginning to end.
I love that response. Shout out to that mixer right there.
I have like the what's his name?
What's that mixer's name?
Oh, her name is Stacy.
Shout out to Stacy.
Yeah, okay.
I love that response.
Okay,
that was
Stacey.
perfect. Perfect response.
My guy who says, who cares? Just go and learn something.
Move on.
Nah, I 100% agree with that.
We know.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
I'm sure you do.
Another person said, I just don't want to hear black student unions complaining about racism. Should have come to school with us. Okay. I didn't experience racism in Towson. Maybe I was blind to it. I don't know. I didn't experience
I'm pretty sure
you wasn't around, remember?
Yeah.
I was around enough to
You was in
to
your room.
see. Yeah.
You went home.
I did, but I mean, I would.
home.
I could experience. I didn't experience it at Towson. Anyway, I feel like Towson's a little bit more diverse than some of the other PWIs, so it's different. Like comparing, I think Towson's different from Loyola. I in my opinion, but
I think y'all like an organization like at Towson, like some white supremacist type organization at Towson.
Was that rumored?
No.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't when I was there, so I can't tell y'all. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Around, though. You know, we don't
it probably was when you was there. You just completely blind to it.
How am I be blind to that?
You wasn't around.
I was around, but
you was probably friends with them.
They was in your 12 p.m. class.
Facts.
This person said,
therapists.
honestly, it works. It's what works for you. I graduated from an HBCU, but scholarship options were limited because of the whole minority situation. So a lot of the kids that got scholarships from the school were international. The experience was incomparable, but I made sure to send my son to a school. I didn't even know she had a son. Oh, wow. Okay, but I made sure to send my son to a school where he could be in a more well-rounded environment.
Why you gotta do that?
Because these are the bunny ears, well-rounded.
But don't you?
Was it in quotes on it?
It was in quotes, yes.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I thought you was just trying to do that.
No.
Right.
Well-rounded environment, because going to a predominantly black school all my life left me unprepared for some of the stuff I dealt with in the workplace. If he decides a HBCU in college, I'll support him, but I needed him to get used to the climate at some point.
I don't understand why some black folks feel like they need white people to get them prepared for the real world. But
because they're in the real world.
We'll continue.
That's not. Yeah, go ahead.
For those Nikki, will you be staying behind, or will you come
over here?
You gonna stay over there?
Yes.
You gotta let the mixers see you.
No.
She said they can hear it.
I always stay over here.
And we got some other, some mixiners, some other mixiners. Some shout out to Selef and Classy, her mixiners. I'm gonna read this one. My first choice was HBCU, but they were playing when it came down to financial aid, because they don't got no money. It's like.
No. Continue. Keep
that energy. Keep that energy. You meant that.
End up attending a PWI. Not only did they give me a great chunk of change, of course they did, but the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. It's in the heart of downtown. Am I saying it right? Raleigh, North Carolina. I know that's North Carolina.
Damn,
Yes.
Towson ain't teach you how to pronounce it.
So it was convenient too. I wouldn't change anything about my undergrad experience. There were HBCUs that were within walking distance, so I was still able to experience that life without attending school, which is what I was kind of saying last week. They go to the parties and all that social stuff, and then go back and go to school.
I want to talk about that too, HBCUs is parties, people, but go ahead.
Someone else said PWI, pros, organization, better standard, cares for quality of life for students, larger array of opportunities for internships and graduation.
Start from the beginning on there.
PWI, the pros are organization, better standard / cares for quality of life for students, larger array of opportunities for internships and graduation, stronger alumni network. Cons, lack of sensitivity to cultural experience, that's fact. HBCU pros, overall better cultural experience. We all know that. We're not going to negate that. Stronger teacher-student connection, facts. Experience is more personalized, more memorable student experiences, homecoming, social stuff, like I said. Cons, disorganization, financial aid, student courses, etc. Lack of financial backing for the universities because they don't have it. Limited alumni network, quality of life for students aren't to par. Dorm rooms, meal plans, everything that's essentially also really important for your college experience other than the social aspect. That she didn't say all that. I added that. Right. So, finances.
It's cool. Make sure you save hers, because I want to touch on a few things when we go back to her.
It was another one, but it was kind of long. So, anybody have any other one? Oh, the one with the
Yeah, don't. Yeah, say the Lincoln one. Stop playing.
Oh wait, did I get that one? It's in the chat. Is it the one where my friend said how he wanted to change? Oh no, that one, not that one. Okay.
Come on, yo, you making us look bad.
I don't have that one. No,
we a unit, so Come on now.
Well, you look up your phone and see if you
Nah,
have
just
it.
do it.
No, I don't.
Like
I
Nike.
don't have it. Huh? You resend it to me, Aaron? Thanks. So we can leave this one before you guys have your say on this topic.
You know, the one you don't care about.
Right.
The one I definitely don't care about.
Yeah.
No. And I'm gonna speak on my experience.
I read it.
One. Okay. See, I didn't get this one. HBCU was not, and capitalized, not an option for me. Originally, I wanted to go to a medium private all-female science university. I had many issues with FAFSA, which almost cost me to not go to school the fall after high school graduation. And then one day, I got a call from an admissions counselor who I just so happened to have built a small relationship with her because I met her several times prior, and she just called to check on me because she knew I had FAFSA issues. Once it was resolved, which was in late July, early August, she was the first person that stood up to me, and I decided to go with Lincoln because she made me feel like she genuinely cared. And if an admissions counselor gave me those vibes, I just knew the school had to be on the same wave. And it turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made. One person who cares that happens to be at the HBCU you can find at the PWI.
You see your attitude right there?
Okay. So before I give y'all my take about why I don't give two SHITs about this conversation, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and.
We're actually gonna let you speak first today. This is gonna be your time where you speak first.
No, because I don't want to. I would rather wait, and I want to hear y'all take on it. And why you guys are so passionate about it. I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't matter why to be so passionate about this conversation.
We're gonna start with you. Let's start with those who don't care.
I really don't care. Honestly,
start with you.
No, okay. Honestly, guys, I feel like I just don't care about this conversation because at the end of the day, whether it's a personal choice and it's subjective, whether you choose to go to a HBCU or you choose to go to a PWI, it really doesn't matter. You're going to get an education. Unless there's certain things you're looking for with the specific school that you choose. Some schools offer different things. Like if you want to go to an engineering program, we know Morgan has an excellent engineering program, probably one of the best in the state. So you'll choose to go there if you look, or in the country, right? But if you're choosing to go, like I said, if you want anything in medical, okay, you're gonna choose Johns Hopkins, obviously for the prestige. But it has a great. It's all catered to that. So I feel as though no matter where you choose, you're going for whatever reasons you're going for. Again, it could be sports related, it could be the major, regardless. And you go and you get your education, you get out. That's really the common goal for all of us. And I feel like this is another thing that divides Black people. We're all soldiers of the same struggle. We're all trying to go to get a higher education. We get there, we go, and
we actually have a caller.
Oh, we do.
We got a caller.
Okay, so let this caller jump in, get in the mix with us, and I'll finish my take.
Okay. Don't forget.
No,
they're on the line.
Oh, Mixner, you are in the mix right now. State your name, please.
State your name, gangster.
Peace. This is Bilal.
Beloved, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, beloved? How are you, man? How's everybody?
I can't complain. Beloved, can you let us know if you attended a PWI or HBCU?
HBCU, man. Lincoln University, first degree granting first HBCU on the earth.
Okay. That response.
Tell us about it.
Well, for me personally, it was a great choice. I think that Lincoln offered me great as far as relationships with the fellow peers, but also the family experience, the bonding. I just don't think that coming from a small private school, which I went to here in New York City, and knowing that Lincoln is relatively small, but still relatively big, it wasn't a big cultural shock. Yeah, it was an adjustment period, but I had faculty and administration that really cared about our success, about the students' success, and I felt that if I did go to a PWI, family white institution, that I wouldn't have gotten the same type of response as I did for an HBCU. So on one level, I would say that it is what you make your experience. You understand what I'm saying? It is what you make your experience. But as far as my experience, I won't trade it away for nothing. And I think that a lot of students need to get exposed to all the options. First, too. If you want to go to HBCU, you have that option. You want to go to PWI, you have that option. You want to go to trade school, that's your option. You have an option too. But coming from New York, a lot of these high school students are not being told nothing about HBCUs, which I think is wrong, from black and white admission counselors. So I think we're doing a disservice in certain cities, certain states are doing a disservice to the black community when they don't even mention HBCUs as part of the college admission process. So but my experience was great. So I won't trade it.
See, I feel like this argument really can happen for someone who's been to both the PWI and the HBCU, and they truly can compare the experience, because you're really only talking from one experience. You can't say that if you went to a PWI, you wouldn't have got the support. You don't know that. So I'm saying, like, you could say your experience was great, but it doesn't mean that you could assume that you wouldn't have the same experience. I mean, culturally, we know that you wouldn't, but as far as, like I said, the support from, like, professors, we don't know that you wouldn't have gotten that. I've been to a PWI and I've had support from my professors. So, I can't say that I wouldn't have gotten that for HBCU. I don't know. So I feel like it really is what you make it. And I don't think one is greater than the other, which is essentially my point of why we having this conversation. But I'm glad that you had a great experience at your HBCU.
I know. I just think that, not negating anyone's experience at their PWI, because it's based upon everyone's experience. I know people who went to PWI, black people, who said they hated it. It wasn't the same. That's why they come to our homecoming. That's the reason why they wanted to transfer out, go to HBCU, but they never got a chance to. And if they wanted to, they would have done it, since in the very beginning. What I'm saying? But I just think that a lot of the cons that some people read off about HBCUs, as far as funding and not having this, not having that, we have to think about it too. That a lot of these schools, a lot of these HBCUs are faced with financial crisis due to them being state funded. We know in the state of Maryland, all the HBCUs were in the court fighting the governor. That's what I'm saying, for equal funding. Townsend, all these guys get funding. They don't. Morgan State, Coppin, Bowie, UMES, they don't. But they're still, despite not getting funded, they're still putting out quality programs. They're still doing stuff. They're still putting out quality students into the workforce. So to use that to say that, because of funding, because of this, because of that, I just think a lot of these things about HBCUs are also myths and misinformation. So I'm saying that need to be clarified too. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, I guess they feel like maybe because they have lack of funding, they're just not able to get a shortchange. They're not able to get some of the other opportunities they probably get from a school that has more funding. So it's no disrespect to the HBCU. It's just like you just can't meet a certain need for me. And that's okay. It's not saying anything bad. It's just a fact. If you don't have money, you can't produce certain things. So I have to find another route. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think people should be criticized because they chose to go to a PWI because it's more funding. I don't see a problem with that. My opinion.
Well, we definitely appreciate you calling in and being in the mix and sharing your experience at a HBCU.
No doubt. Thank you, guys.
Totally down. Appreciate it. Listen, Mixxers, we do appreciate y'all calling in. So if you were trying to call in and you couldn't get us, the phone line is open now. Shout out to Bilal calling in. And so we can continue our discussion.
Yeah, I was saying, so I feel like this conversation already divides us, and we're already segregated enough. And this is another thing that causes division, when it's like, why does it really matter? When we graduate, we get our degree, and we go, and where do we work for? Most of us are probably working for the white man. The same PWI that y'all talking about that we're probably working for. So I mean, why are we having this conversation? I'm really curious to hear about you guys.
We got another caller?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's get this phone line buzzing. Mixxer, you are in the mix with us right now. State your name, please.
B. Garrett.
Oh, what's going on? B. Garrett, can you please let us know if you attended a PWI or HBCU?
I attended an HBCU.
Okay. Oh, we gang squad up right now, I know you don't care. What HBCU did you attend?
We'll get into that in a second.
I attended the illustrious Morgan State University.
Okay. Morgan representing.
Yeah, shout out to them Bears.
Shout out to the Bears, man.
I I was listening to the conversation and I'm trying to keep up, but I think ultimately people should be able to attend the schools of their choices without being judged. But I also think that blacks that do attend PWIs have this elitism about themselves and how they carry themselves when they have conversations with, blacks
true.
that attended HBCUs. And it's always a conversation of, well, our education is this and our education is that. And I feel like we're equally getting education. And I think it's unfortunate that we are not getting the funding that we're supposed to get. It's unfair. I think it's super unfair that we're not getting getting that funding. So, ultimately, people have the option to go to where they want to go. But I feel like 4 years of your life attending an HBCU compared to the life that you'll have to live in white spaces is really nothing. And HBCUs are completely diverse places. A lot of people have this misconception is I don't want to be around a bunch of black people. But an HBCU is so diverse because black people from different areas and different spaces of the world is bombing. We have white people. We have international people there. It's a whole bunch of stuff happening there. So my HBCU experience was amazing. I didn't want to attend anything but an HBCU. I've had the opportunity to attend a PWI, and I felt like I couldn't be my true, authentic self there. I also went to my graduate program at a PWI, and again, there is no place like an HBCU. We have spaces that was created for us, and let's be real, PWIs were not created for us. They were not spaces created for us. And so then you find yourselves joining black student unions because there's no space for you on that campus. So, that's just my cup of tea.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate
cup
you
of
getting
tea.
in the mix and sharing that nice chug of tea there.
It's a nice cup of tea.
I think no one's negating. We're not negating that it's going to be a cultural experience. You're going to get HBC that you're not going to get in a PWI. Okay, we know that. But again, I guess whatever you decide to go to school for me personally, it was to get an education, get the hell out. And here I am in my career and happy, and I had no regrets. I don't look back in my 40s like, oh, I should have went to HBC. I don't have that experience. I don't. I love Towson's campus. I love the people that I met there. I love the education that I got. It worked for me, and here I am. The end.
But even if you wouldn't have went to a HBCU, do you feel like you would have been a little more involved? Like, do you feel like if you could go back and do it again, like, would you be a little more involved?
No, not really. I literally had a vision, and it's crazy. Like in high school, I feel like I had maybe more pride for my high school. I was just more involved. It was different. But college, I got into the mentality around 12th grade. Like, all right, this is my goal. I want to graduate. I want to just get my degree, get on out and get my career. And that's exactly what I did. And I went to grad school. Same thing. Here I am. I just didn't care that much about getting involved and doing that. And no disrespect for people who did. Like, if y'all did, that's cool. You make whatever you decide to do, whatever school you decide to go to, whatever you decide to do in a school, it's your choice. Who cares? Like, for me, that was what I wanted to do. I did that, and I have no regrets. I don't, especially now, 10 years later, I definitely don't think about, I should have I don't care about that. I'm living my life right now. I'm cool. I'm a mental health therapist, and I'm happy, and that's just that. And I knew I needed to go to college to do what I'm doing now.
Okay.
That's what matters at the end of it. For me, that's what mattered. I thought about the future in my life, not so much about that point in my life. That was a point in time in my life. That time has passed, and I don't reflect on it. It's like, all right, I'm moving on.
Okay. Nikki.
Yes.
How was your experience?
Well, let me start by saying why I went to a PWI, as you all call it.
As they're called.
PWI.
As we got a caller.
As they're called.
That's fine. They can call. But who's answering the call, though?
It's caller.
Oh. Caller, what's going on? You are in the mix. Please state your name.
Sarita.
Hey.
Hi, y'all.
What's going on? Appreciate you being in the mix. Can you please let us know if you attended a HBCU or a PWI or both?
So I actually went to a HBCU for undergrad, and then I went to a PWI for grad school.
Okay. How was your
So I
experience?
was listening to your co-host, the young lady, and I heard her say that she went to school basically to get her education and leave. Mm-hmm. And that was my thought process going into undergrad. I did want to go to a HBCU because I just wanted to be in a comfortable environment after going to like a mixed high school. So I knew that was the experience that I wanted, not so much to be active on campus. However, once I got there, everybody was so welcoming and engaging. I felt like the professors at the HBCU were more relatable and kind of like role models in the sense that they were more like family figures versus just teaching us. Like they were there for the entire experience. Now at my PWI, the experience was completely different. I felt kind of isolated, didn't really relate to any of the other students that were there. And I felt as though the professors, they weren't open to basically kind of like learning about the student. Like we just don't go to class just to get the information. Like there's a story behind us as well. Now, the pros of PWI is when I put that on my resume and I went there, I feel as though they're acknowledged more versus HBCU. And I went to K-State, Kentucky State University, shout out to the Thoroughbreds. And I just feel like no one really knows where that's at. Wasn't a D1 school, so it's just like, yeah, whatever. But I went to DePaul University in Chicago. And I feel like that's more known than, you know, but to each his own.
Kind of essentially the point of my conversation, to each their own. Yeah. Like, but it was good to get your perspective because you went to both the HBCU and the PWI, so you're able to get us both, where I feel like you're not biased because, you know, you have both experiences, where many of us only have one, so we really can't say we wouldn't get some of the same things from the other school. Maybe not, but we wouldn't know.
Exactly, and it's pros and cons for both. I feel like a lot of HBCU just kind of like hype up the experience, and it's dope as fuck. However, there is a downside to everything. So, but that's all I have to share.
I appreciate you being in the mix and sharing. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Nikki.
So I went to a PWI because, you know, I've always gone to, I guess I lived in a predominantly black neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I've gone to predominantly, that's not true. I went to Falstaff, which was mixed. And I went to Western, which is a mixed. At that time, it was more mixed than it is now.
Okay.
And I liked the feeling of a more diverse educational experience, social experience. I'm comfortable in who I am. I didn't feel the need to go to an all-black institution. I didn't feel like I had to do that. I'm not saying that the education was inferior. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think that if I went to a PWI, I would get a better education. I didn't think about that. I didn't think that at all. So I think you guys are under the assumption that because we didn't go to a HBCU that we thought that we would get an inferior education. Because that's all I hear. Like, you know, it was not a bad thing. So I just wanted a more diverse experience. I wanted to be able to maneuver in places and be in situations that I wouldn't be in an all-black institution. Because sometimes when you have that education socially, you're awkward because you haven't been put in those situations and around certain things. So that's why I went. I had a great experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't have anything bad to say about it. And that's not to say that if I had gone to a HBCU, I'd have something bad to say about that experience. So when we validate where we went to school, I think you guys think we discredit where you guys went. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that should be. It's up to your choice where you go. You know, it's your choice of where you go. But yes, I felt like socially, that just put me, that just made me be able to maneuver in spaces now that I wouldn't have been able to maybe maneuver in, or situations that I wouldn't be able to handle. It prepared me for life. So that's how. That's
I feel
why
like people
went.
are saying like HBCUs, you're in these organizations, you're better able to connect. But I connect with a lot of my students.
Yeah,
I mean, moving on to University of Baltimore was the same thing. So I think it's the individual, their own individual hustle. And again, it doesn't discredit that, like, if you're a part of an organization or your HBCU and you're building those connections, cool. But I don't think that ensures anything. So I feel like because you can get this pros and cons to both, and your experience is what you make it, the conversation. I feel like if it was like, we know that this is better for X reason. cool. People are going to have the misconceptions. We know that people from PWI, some of them do say you get a better education. They're very misinformed and ignorant to say that. But I've never had this conversation ever until last week.
I have had this conversation countless times.
Yeah, and I'm
same conversation.
Scratching my head like, why?
I've had it all the time. Just because, I mean, yes, I used to hang out at Morgan, and this is the conversation that I would have. I absolutely did. But
I feel like people at HBCUs defend it more like they defensive if they got to prove something.
Yeah, that's my question.
Wait,
but that's my question for you guys. Why do y'all get so
defensive?
Angry?
Yeah, please answer that.
Can you just
go ahead? Y'all take the floor because I'm done.
Do we really get angry?
Yeah,
I'm super defensive about conversations.
It's not you. You're kind of calm about it, right? Carlton, he is he is passionate, but I know because I've been around.
Passionate, not angry.
Passionate. You're right. Why are you all so passionate? And you get on be so defensive.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, please see.
Can I have the floor?
You can certainly have the floor.
He been itching. This should have just been your conversation anyway. You had the floor. Just go for it.
So check this out, right? Everybody has individual experiences, right? And whatever school that they go to, each individual experiences accumulate results. It accumulates a certain standard of thinking. You have a majority that thinks this, a minority that thinks this, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Clearly, you guys' opinions are amongst the minority opinion. Being an HBCU grad and being a person that experienced, being at an HBCU, just like y'all you specifically, you said you had this conversation. Mm-hmm. I've never had this conversation with anybody from HBCU or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's how it is at first when you go to an HBCU. You don't really think of it that way until you go there, and then you start to hear these reasons why people didn't go there and how they talk down on your university. That's where the passion comes from, because it's like this was literally a school created for people like me,
right?
And you're a person like me, and yet you're talking down on a school like this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So from that, you know what I'm saying, that's where we depend on people like you guys that attended PWIs to check them, because we for sure are going to check them, because it's our school. And I take it y'all probably have. I'm not saying y'all didn't, and I'm not even specifically speaking to y'all because y'all don't think like the majority opinion, of course.
No, I've heard it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you said you spent a lot of time at Morgan.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely sure you heard it. So the thing about it is that systematically, we know how this country is against us in pretty much every single way, including education. Mm-hmm. The same way that schools try to purposely sway black people to go to PWIs instead of HBCUs. The same way that they do stuff like in the state of Maryland, underfund the HBCUs and send the funding towards the PWIs to get people to go there. So it's almost like a lot of the reasons why some people it's like they forcing you to have to choose the PWI over. Like I give you a story about the MBA program at Morgan State University. It was a point in time in Maryland, where at least in Baltimore specifically, where the MBA program was only at Morgan. If you were going to go to a state institution, you go to one of the state institutions to get an MBA, you got to go to Morgan. And it was about, I want to say 250 plus people in that program. Over the years, for some reason, they developed the MBA program at Towson. Now, that some reason, we know that reason, they wanted people to go to Towson instead of Morgan. You fast forward about 25 years later, it was about 25 people in Morgan's MBA program, and then it was like 400 or 500 people at Towson's. And it's like, you see how back when I was at Morgan, I was Mr. Morgan State University. And
that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting it out there. Right. I'm putting it out there.
Small plug, real quick.
Right.
It makes sense. But, yes. But look. I say that to say this. Because I was Mr. Morgan State University, I had to learn a great deal about my university, and I spoke with a lot of people at other universities to learn that most HBCUs in this country are not that different. Because it's we're in Maryland. Some HBCUs are in North Carolina, some are in Florida, some are in Georgia, whatever. So every state, they got their own different issues, but they're all black issues. So when I was Mr. Morgan, I was preparing for the Mr. HBCU competition, writing my speech, and I came across something, the HBCU equality rights. And it was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, and one of my best friends, he was actually a president at the time. I called him like 2 in the morning. He was actually up. This is crazy how we was like synced, but he was up reading about it too. And come to find out, the state of Maryland, just like how I just spoke about the MBA program, they had been like pretty much underfunding the HBCUs purposely and giving the money to the PWIs. So from that, we ended up linking up with the people from the other HBCUs that we knew, going down to Annapolis to fight to get our money back. And we ended up winning that case. And it was like, the amount was like $700 million plus or something like that. But it's like, knowing stuff like this and knowing stuff like this, you have to at least acknowledge the argument. I know some people I know you said like you don't even care, and honestly, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I don't think it should matter, but it does.
I mean, but you're saying it does only for the people who speaks down to those of HBCUs, and I'm saying I don't think people who attend PWI should judge anybody go to HBCUs or what kind of education they get or lack thereof. And I've heard this the other way around. Yeah. Some people from HBCUs, people feel like people who PWI turn their back or their people and they've lost their black identity. And again, one of the I don't know who would call her, who said that she felt more comfortable, like she could be her authentic self. I was able to be my authentic self at Towson. Like, so I didn't think like I don't know what that. I don't know. I was able to be myself. I didn't be anybody else. I'm always a leader 24/7, no days off.
And
so
I get that.
My school didn't make a difference for me. I mean, I guess certain things that maybe you can do that maybe you can relate amongst your peers. I don't know if that's what she meant,
it's all
but
about being relatable in situations.
But I was able to be relatable in PW. I don't get that.
I mean, but you also stated too last week that when you got to Towson, who were you always hanging with though?
No, I didn't say I always hang around black people. I didn't say that. I was saying that people know. I didn't say Aaliyah did. I'm saying that a lot of black people, they just hung with each other. I talked to my white students. I talked to black students. I did projects with them. None of that mattered to me.
You're gonna have to do projects.
I mean, no, I'm just saying you have it then, but I'm just saying like I didn't look at it like, oh, I just had to hang around black people. I didn't look at it like that.
I mean, nobody.
My family's diverse.
People,
I don't
think people purposely do that. Like, I think you just kind of gravitate towards people like you. Period.
Well, right. Okay, naturally so, but to be authentic, I don't feel like I had to be less authentic because I went to a PWI. I was able to be myself.
Why did you guys attend HBCUs? Oh, yeah. We've never asked you that. Why did you guys? Why did you do that?
Well, for me, honestly, I attended a HBCU. It was more so my cousin attended one, and I actually wanted to go on an HBCU tour, but my mother didn't allow me to. So that kind of blew me because I really wanted to experience that. But the fact that he went to a HBCU and then transferred to another HBCU, I'm like, all right, well, let me go here, see what this HBCU is about. And it was really a great experience. Like, and I know y'all say y'all wanted to go to a PWI, you know, to get that diverse experience. But when you really look at it, when you really look at HBCUs, like, they're diverse all around. No
How can you form diversity when we're specifically talking about a race, right? When we all black students there, like, that's not diverse.
But we all know that. Yeah, there's definitely different cultures.
We're not talking about cultural. You're talking about being around all black people. That's not diversity.
But the thing is that we all know why HBCUs were created. We all know that.
Yeah.
But you now have white folks who want to come. Like, you have different cultures that want to attend the HBCU.
We do have that now, but at one point in time, but okay, not at one point in time, majority still is going to be majority African Americans at the HBCUs.
Yeah,
just like it's majority white people at the PWIs.
But I feel like a place like Towson, you seen a lot more than just it was a black students. You had Asians.
It's like that at Morgan too, but the majority is still
at Lincoln.
The majority is still white people, just like the majority of HBCUs is still black people. They're both diverse. They just have two different majorities.
Right.
And from that, though, to answer the question about why I chose to go to Morgan, I almost, once I learned about what HBCUs were, I almost felt like I owed it to myself too, because in this country we live as the minority. So no matter whether I'm in school, out of school, I'm sure there will be a point in my life where I will have more years out of school than in any kind of education, from pre-K to college, post-grad, or whatever. Yeah. So I'm gonna be living as the minority anyway. So I never really understood the whole I want to go to a PWI for diversity thing, because we live as minorities anyway. But aside from that, as much as I should know about myself individually, about my people, about my culture, I felt like I didn't know. Even growing up in an all-black neighborhood and stuff like that, I learned so much more about myself and my people from different places in this country, from different ethnicities, different backgrounds and stuff, at my HBCU for the 5 years that I was there than I did at any other point in my life. And from that, I think that's kind of what the person was alluding to when the caller was like, they were able to be themselves. It was like you can truly be yourself when you learn more about yourself. Not to say that you don't know about yourself.
But that argument is null and void because to say you can still learn about yourself at a PWI. You could. But that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so that's why that makes the argument null and void. It does if it can go both ways. The argument is no. It can always go
both ways, but it's a difference when you are exactly in an environment catered to that versus one that isn't catered to.
But I'm saying if you can still learn who you are in both environments, right? What are we talking about?
I understand
and you took extra steps to do that. Everybody's not going to do what you did and come away with what you came away with.
I mean, it wasn't even that I took extra steps. It was presented to me. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like I went out looking for it. I was there because I figured I would learn about it there, and it was all presented to me.
But you also came in intrigued, which is part of the reasons why you even chose HBCUs. Some people not choosing HBCUs for that. They think they're going to get this real social experience, cultural, and be around people. Boom, and that was the extent of their experience.
A lot of people don't even know about HBCUs like that, and it's you see a certain stigmatism that people have towards HBCUs that people kind of try to make people have to it. Not even just like other black people that don't go to HBCUs, but white people. They like I said about how they do the HBCUs in Maryland. You can only imagine the stuff that they saying about
which brings me to my original point in the beginning. Like we're having all black people are talking about you went to PWI, you went to HBCU. Like white people are saying this stuff. That's a little different. We are pinning
what they saying.
We're pinning against each other.
But that's why I'm saying it's an argument because.
But shouldn't it be?
Where did you think it came from? It didn't come from us.
It didn't?
No, it didn't.
You think white people are saying, hey, you two guys argue about PWIs? I don't think so.
This country is systematic. Everything in this country is created to be against us by them. Even most of the reasons why we against each other.
We're perpetuating that by having this conversation.
We're not perpetuating by having a conversation.
I think this conversation is good because it's bringing out different points of view, and I mean that's why I liked having those conversations. Yeah, because I'm all about educate me. How I mean, if I can pick up something that I didn't understand,
we all.
I just don't like the.
But my thing is, what are we trying to understand?
Some people are aggressive.
Here's what I'm trying to understand. What are you trying to understand?
Because one of your mixers, they said, I think they said the pros for attending a PWI was the fact that they prepare you for the real world, but. Why wouldn't you think that at HBC? Like, why don't you think you would get that same? Like, how did it?
The environment, like we're not all. It's like a bubble. It seems in HBCU because we're majority around black people. When we look out here, that's not the case. So I think she meant it like that.
Well, how did it prepare you?
I don't think that if I went to HBCU, I think I would have been just as prepared because it's the experience that I made and whatever opportunities I chose. So asking me is a little bit different because I'm not going in there saying, oh, well, I went to PWI and I've more prepared for the world. No, like I looked at it like, here you go. When I was graduating from Towson, actually, and somebody said, are you ready for the real world? I'm like, yo, I've been working full time, going to school. Like that to me is like preparing me for the real world. That's how I look. That's exactly what my response to, I don't know, she was some administrator, whatever, and that was my response to her. I'm like, I didn't look at it like, oh, I didn't say, oh, well, you guys prepared me. I prepared myself. I was already working, I was networking, I was doing all that stuff on my own, which goes back to some point. I feel like it's the individual, no matter what school you choose.
But that's why I said, even with it being an individual, individuals create a mass, and then from that mass you get statistics.
But here's my thing: we're having this conversation, and what are we any more enlightened? What is the no, seriously, I really want to get the purpose of the conversation. What's the purpose? What did you learn today?
If you and I were different, then it probably would. I think we're pretty much not already enlightened, but we're not on the fence. We're not saying that the educations are inferior. Right. We're not saying that. No. What I'm saying is, I think that she said, is anything different? Have you learned anything?
Have we learned anything from today's conversation?
Because I've had this conversation 100 times, I've already, you know what I mean? I'm already where you guys are. I'm like, I completely get it. I think we would be more enlightened, or the conversation would be more, I guess, effective if you guys were talking to two people who were just like,
but I'm even scaling
completely against, or you know what I'm saying, like HBCUs.
So I mean,
they're horrible. It was a horrible experience.
I'm sure somebody listening that thinks like that too.
Yeah, but you know, I would
think that you learned something as far like with him. It's saying how with him running for Mr. Morgan and how his best friend was for SGA, and they found out that they were purposely not getting, like, HBCUs weren't getting funded.
Look at the world we live in.
I mean, but did you know that?
We already know people are against us. We know in a white man's world that we're having. Again, what's your question?
My question to you, Aaliyah, because you said you're asking.
I didn't know that specific fact, but what's the purpose of the conversation?
Learned something.
But in general, Kid 6, we are learning what? Because we're really trying to prove that HBCUs they're not inferior in reference to education. Anyone would be ignorant to say that. And we know that people from PWI, there's some ignorance with that. We know that.
But again,
so in essence, what's the conversation?
You saying that, you're like, but yet you still have people out here who always constantly bring up education.
But now they're going to say, okay, well, HBCUs do have good educations. So what do we learn?
Are they going to say that though?
Learn what you just said.
Okay, if that's the fact that they want to learn, then okay. If that's, that's what they want to know.
One conversation
but like,
wouldn't change someone's mind about that.
Yeah, I'm saying. I feel like you feel so strongly about it, but
if somebody's has a belief system that has been like that for decades, one conversation isn't going to make them be like, "Oh my God, light bulb goes off. I'm going to change how I think." Most people don't work like that. However, it opens up the conversation and it puts it out there for people, for your mixers, and
personally,
it makes them think. Like,
for me personally, I think, and I read a lot of articles that said this conversation needs to be deaded. It doesn't need to be a debate, especially amongst black people alike. Now, maybe we're having this conversation with white individuals. I could see maybe a little bit more of the point to it. But I already feel like it's dividing us in general, and I just don't see the point of us having this conversation. If you want to go to a HBCU, great. If you want to go to a PWI, cool.
I think we only become divided when you have those who throw out ignorant comments.
Sure, and I mean, if you want to tell them,
you got to recognize the divisive mindset that's there.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm not saying I don't recognize it. I'm just saying it is there, and I do recognize it.
So that's why you got to have the conversation.
I don't necessarily know if this, like you were saying, if this will make a difference for some people.
So what do you think will make the difference?
I don't know what would make. I don't know. I don't know. I think people are kind of embedded in their thinking pattern, and they feel like, hey.
So you don't think there's nothing that can be done?
What do you think? I don't know.
I feel like a lot can really be done. Like, when you really look at it, I will speak and say that it would be dope if a lot of black athletes went to HBCUs, because that's where all the funding would go. Gotta really look at it. When you constantly hear about certain HBCUs getting funded, you hear about the same 3 HBCUs getting funded from celebs: Morehouse, Howard, and Spelman. There are plenty of other HBCUs who really need the funds. That's where it's at. But because it's not funded, it doesn't get that much publicity and everything. Like, when you go, I don't know, man. It's just,
I just think this conversation is just for, like I said, the people who are a little ignorant to.
It's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And
so do you guys have have you ever had a negative experience at your colleges? Ever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
of course.
I mean, but right. Okay.
Yeah. You always gonna have your pros and cons at any school. I'm not saying that Lincoln was perfect, but you know, it was a love-hate thing. It's just like in any relationship in life, you always gonna have that. But
it was never a moment you guys were like, hey, maybe I shouldn't have went here.
Nah.
Okay, no, that's good. I'm just asking.
I've never had that at Towson either.
Even after my freshman year, when I did want to transfer, but it was still to another HBCU.
Okay, right. I get that. Okay,
you know, but and that was just for the simple fact that, like, I wasn't used to being in the middle of nowhere. Like, Lincoln was really in the middle of nowhere, like smack there. So I had to really get adjusted to that. But that's what really helped me grow and build relationships with people on the campus.
And I think some of these parents too, like, just like with fraternities, sororities, like, I'm a Kappa, so you got to be a Kappa. I went to Morgan, so you got to go. I feel like they don't even give their kids a choice. You know, if for my child, you can go wherever you want to go. Spread your wings to fly. If you want to go HBCU, I have no problem with that, because I went to Towson. You must go to Towson. Have to go down the line. Like, no, you want to go to PWI? I'm cool with that too.
So optimistic.
No, yeah, but seriously though, see, like I don't think about get an education. I think for me in my household, it was focused on like getting an education.
As it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever else comes after
As it
comes
should have
after.
been. There's certain other things that come after though that you might not have even realized matter until it's happening. It's kind of this argument though, to me, is real similar to like the Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter argument. Of course, all lives matter. Of course, Black Lives Matter if all lives matter. But for some reason, people acting like Black lives don't
Now,
matter.
see,
but they
now
said all lives
that's
matter.
crazy because we
Then you
clearly
gotta,
know a point to that. And if the people who say all lives matter, it's just trying to.
It's rooted in the same principle.
Right.
People be like, just like the one caller that was just like, oh, you know, I went to both, and then it's almost like some people look at the PWI as more prestigious than the HBCU. And I know people with direct experience. One of my mentors, when he graduated.
Okay, we got another caller.
Oh, we got a caller.
Yep.
Okay. Mixx is in the mix.
Callers on the line.
Mixxers, what's going on, man? You are in the mix. Please state your name.
Hey, Jones.
Who? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, you are the mix. Please state your name.
A. Jones.
A. Jones? Are you saying A. Jones?
Hey Jones, what's going on? How you feeling? So did you attend a HBCU or a PWI?
I had two HBCUs. One undergrad at Hampton and then Howard Law School.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And how was your experience?
How you go to both HUs? You wild.
I guess to piggyback, a lot of people said the same things, like just going, it's like a comfort zone. I wanted like a family type experience in small school. But I guess I'm more so called just to piggyback or to chime in on some of the other conversations that were had. And I know last week there was a statement made saying, oh, well, HBCU, I guess education is inferior to PWI. And I guess my question was, what automatically makes the HBCU experience or education inferior to the PWI?
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I think we have this whole conception of like white is right. Yeah, everything that's white is right. Everything is in superior because it's white, right? And I feel like some black people do have that mentality. So I think that's where it's rooted from. But realistically, we can't say that because, again, people who just went to a PWI who's never been to a HBCU can't really make that argument. They really can't, which is why I said it's ignorant. And vice versa. I feel like you can only really have this argument if you've been to both schools and you can pull from both experiences. I have never been to HBCU, so I can't tell you exactly what my experience would have been like, you know? So I only have one side. But that's why I think, to answer that first question, I think that's where it comes from.
And I think to piggyback off someone said today, like we have the divisive or just mentality, and I think our people as a culture have like that crab in the barrel mentality. And I think those who go to PWI, I've heard they're inferior, but I think a lot of the reasons why I went to HBCU is partly because my grandfather said, oh, well, why don't you take your talent to HBCU? Like they're made for us. And I think if we as black people keep pouring into our HBCUs, a lot of them won't be closing, or we would have more funding. And I think just not dividing each other and having this pointless conversation, and a lot of it stemmed from that simple shirt saying HBCU-ish. That's kind of like a slap in the face. Like just because you have Fried Chicken Wednesday at your PWI doesn't mean it's a similar experience at HBCU, like for example. So I think it's just a slap in the face to our safe spaces, and everyone wants to be like us, but they're not willing to come to the HBCU. So I think that's all I had to say on the matter.
Thank you for calling in and sharing that and getting in the mix. Appreciate that.
Okay. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, my mentor.
Yeah.
When he graduated from Morgan, he got 2 degrees from Morgan. And when he was competing for jobs, one of the jobs he was competing for, it boiled down to him versus 2 other people from PWIs. And he was saying that one of the things that actually got him the job, or even got him considered to be like one of the final 3, was the fact that he was so good at what he was doing, what he was like the job that he was asked to do. He was like so much better than his competition, and they was actually so surprised that he was that good because of what school he went to. That's almost an insult.
It's very insulting
Yeah.
because you're more than just your school.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, most people when you applying for jobs, they don't care about what school you. Some, not all. Some do. Some do. But a lot of employers really don't care about that. You know, so that is ignorant to think.
From that though too, you have the connotation of some people entering college or in college, and they think that it does. They don't look at it as, okay, yeah, I got my degree from HBCU, you got yours from a PWI, but we both black, and the employer is going to deny both of our ass for a white person because we both black.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. We all soldiers of the same struggle at the end of the day.
So with that being the case, though,
so why are we talking about this
at PWIs when we have the same struggle at the end of the day that think that they're better off by
Where
going
the
to
camera
a
at see, look directly there and tell all these people the PWI, like, yo, stop talking spicy about HBCUs, period.
We went through that, yo. We told them, y'all know, look at me in my face. I'm like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with us. Y'all know what it is.
You get slapped up.
So serious.
Mr. Morgan State.
We all in this together. HBCU, PWI, whatever. Go out there, get educated, change this world, and recognize the struggle that we got together. Don't look down on any one institution over another for whatever. At least consider, you know what I'm saying, your HBCUs because they was made for you for the same purpose. Just like he was saying, I wish, too, especially in sports, that these black athletes went to HBCUs. The whole country, NCAA would be different.
Hell yeah.
I agree with
totally
that.
Different.
I definitely, and like I said, we know y'all, the HBCU is going to have that total different cultural experience, and we know that, you know. But if you're not going to school for that and you choose otherwhere, okay. Like I said, we all trying to
listen, but just
know yourself, know your reason.
Keep your ignorant comments to yourself.
Sure.
All right. When
it
comes down to it, stop. Don't think that.
And that's where my thing comes from. I don't want it to seem like I this is not significant per se, or that like I'm just completely nonchalant. I just feel like we're the soldiers of the same struggle. We shouldn't really be, we shouldn't go against each other for this. We all get a high education. We all want to graduate and get great jobs.
That's a whole other debate too, though.
What's that?
Because once more black people start getting educations, it's almost like the value of our degree started to go down. And a lot of our people do go PWIs, HBCUs, whatever. That's a whole different debate right there. That's
whole different.
I know, because people who didn't go to college probably laughing at all of us right now. Like, we making more money, y'all. Y'all sitting there arguing with what's better.
We got all kinds.
Go to a trade school.
Right.
Oh, yeah, y'all want to make more money? Go get a degree. We got a degree.
You know what I'm saying? Go be a plumber or something. Go be a welder. You making definitely more money. We ain't having this crazy conversation. Nobody doesn't matter.
It's bigger issues than this conversation. People gotta recognize that.
Yes,
definitely.
That's the wave I'm on.
But this was definitely a good discussion for us. I feel as though we definitely learned different things. Well, I know I did. I can't speak for you. Because you never cared.
It was good.
But
appreciate
my bro as always, man, being very insightful and teaching us something, because I learned something new about them today, as well as what they did and getting the funds that they deserved. So shout out to them.
Shout out to Mr. Morgan over there, man.
That's what I'm
Who's
talking
Mr.
about,
Morgan
man.
State now? I'm curious to know.
That's a guy named Molly. Shout out to him.
Are you Mr. Morgan for all 4 years, or like is it one every year? Okay,
I'm gonna tell you like they told us.
Did you get nominated for this?
I got elected.
Oh, you got elected. Oh, you was hot in them streets. Morgan.
Everybody knew him.
Right?
I'm gonna tell you like they told us though. Once
Mr.
Morgan, once the king, always the king. That's what they say.
Okay, king.
It's like a lineage thing. Something like that. That's a little bit.
You would know that if you ain't go home at 3 p.m. after every class.
I don't think you didn't have that at Towson.
Y'all probably did.
No, I didn't go there for. I went there for graduate.
Sure.
I actually went to College Park for so I definitely didn't go to.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no!
But this was definitely a good roundtable debate, man.
Right?
Shout out to our mixers calling in too.
Yeah,
Appreciate
shout
y'all
out to them for
mix.
yes, definitely shout out to them.
You know what time it is. It's time for Whose Mans Is This? And we got a couple that we're gonna bless with tonight. So first, say that again. Oh, I thought you said something. My bad.
No, I'm saying who we blessing.
We're gonna bless Drake's pops, man.
Oh man.
Oh, he needed to get one for a minute.
Yeah, he does, man. He was in the comment section making it known that he tried calling Tiffany Pollard, aka New York, from a 901 number. Bro, you don't do that in the comment section where everybody can directly see it. you go to the DMs, man. If that's your cup of tea,
He out
man,
here.
He don't know nobody. He can't see
go
under.
in the DMs, man.
He can't see past his mustache.
Can he get a Who's Man's This for that whack video and that song he dropped?
Oh,
too?
yeah, definitely. So, bless him with a Who's Man's Is This for sure.
just definitely bless him with that.
Hey, who man's is this?
Yeah, he needed that.
My man. Gotta do better, man. Next, a white woman breaks into a black family's home and gives their 2-year-old son a bath.
The irony. The irony.
How you break into a family's home to give their child a bath? And she brought her dog with her. Like, and brought her dog with her.
The dog's probably like, yo, protect me if shit hit the fan, because this bath time.
So she broke in to bathe the baby. Was she trying? What?
Please bless this white woman with a Who's Man's Is This.
Was she trying to be humanitarian? Was she trying to be insulting? I don't know.
That is ironic that the white person was trying to give
right. The 2-year-old son should have gave her a bath.
What the dog was? What kind of dog was it?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Next, okay, this. Now listen.
What's up?
Netflix, y'all really, you really trying it. Now, granted, I don't pay for a Netflix account because I got somebody's account information.
God.
But Netflix plans to put a stop to password sharing. Yeah. Now listen. Yeah. Now listen.
Immediately.
Netflix. Let me tell you something. If you're not down with the folks sharing their password account, we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
I mean, all right. I get it from a business standpoint, though. If everybody pays for shit, they not making money.
So what?
Just because y'all
It's
don't
hard.
want to pay for it.
Yo, imagine you literally had $15 until your next pay, and Netflix be like, "Oh, thank you for your payment."
Yo, it's a business. Guess what? If you can't afford Netflix, you better just not have it. That's how they thinking. Guess what? I ain't signing off on that Who's Man's This because you gotta have a business mind. You can't be doing that.
What?
Nah.
That's your whitewash.
That's a capitalist.
That's your problem.
That's a capitalist mindset right there.
Of course, but I mean, I agree.
That is a capitalist
Guess
mindset.
what? If you was a Netflix president trying to make money, you would agree.
Hey, yo, I
You don't gotta be objective.
Don't even.
But you not.
Hey, she don't get her rich. She don't get her rich king shirt, yo. She don't get that. She don't get no rich king shirt.
I understand. See, I'm already thinking of business, my man.
That's your problem, man.
That's capitalism at its finest right there.
Facts.
We live in a capitalistic society, my guy. Like that's just what it is.
I will be posting on my IG story. Is Aaliyah whitewashed? All right. Listen, I know I'm gonna get 100%.
Actually,
somebody gonna be like, she regular washed. People gonna get disrespectful. Listen. He's setting you up. Don't
worry, I'm gonna share with you.
Am I being open for the disrespect? Oh my gosh.
One more, man. Swaggy P, man. For those who don't know, man, Swaggy P, man. He used to play for the Lakers as well as the Warriors. So back in 2014, he claims he probably had a chance with Rihanna. Right?
Who's Swaggy P?
Nick Young, he's a basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Nick Young.
He's the guy you might have seen a meme of him shooting a 3 and turning around and acting like it went in.
But he missed. Right. Yeah, and this is where he missed if this actually happened. So he shared, back in 2014 when he was playing with the Lakers, he had a good ass game, and your girl Riri was courtside.
Okay.
So, she a big Lakers fan and all of that. Holds it down, man. Love her. That's my baby. Now, Young had a good game, and the reporters were asking why he, was balling out the way he was, and he mentioned Rihanna's name. Well, apparently she heard about the shout out, and she reached out to him. Mm-hmm. But at the time, he was messing with Bologna Sandwich Iggy Azalea. So I got to give him a Who's Man's Is This, because that right there, your test was right there in front of you. You should have dropped her. Dropped the unseasoned, unwashed chicken.
Who man's is this?
And go get Rihanna. He blew it.
You blew it, bro.
You
blew that shot that you thought you
blew
did.
that shot, and you blew your shot at Rihanna.
So if you had a girl right now, Rihanna said,
you ain't even got to finish the sentence.
Y'all hear that? Y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it first.
R.I.P. R.I.P. That's cool. Everybody got a little crazy in them. I'm crazy too.
You talking about I'm crazy too. You crazy?
We really know C is crazy. Mr. Morgan State over there. If anything I learned today and last week, I've learned that from you.
I can match it. I can match it, man.
I did learn something, but yeah.
But yeah, man. Do you have a Who's Man's Is This to bless anyone?
No. No, whose man's is this?
No, whose man's is this?
Only whose man's is this I had was for anybody that thought that the Jets were even gonna score a point against the Patriots.
Yeah, y'all wildin' for even thinking that was gonna be a
Hey,
close
whose man's
game.
is this?
Facts.
At least you tried.
You
Did
know?
they? Get an E for effort. Did they even try? I don't know.
Get an E for effort. Listen, man, only church announcement. Make sure y'all show our girls So Effing Classy some B They Love tomorrow. All right, it's a celebration this week.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we showing mad love. So we out here in these streets.
She got her hair pressed and all of that.
Facts.
I know,
You know,
right?
First of all, that's a story, but go ahead.
Shout out to her, man. Shout out to all of our mixiners again tuning in
Yeah.
tonight. We appreciate y'all calling in. So from here on out, y'all, the phone lines will be open. Okay, so y'all have the number now. So don't only let today be the only day that y'all call in. Moving forward.
See how
Hit
it
us
happens
up.
when you don't entertain and you just let them just not text you and they call in. See
Yeah,
how that
because your
works?
girl Leah apparently hates the fact that when people text
I do.
and I share the responses.
I do. I think that's corny. Get in the mix, man. We invite you guys. Come on in the mix.
Yeah, come on in the mix, man.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
But listen, until next week, same time, same place. It's your big dog Kid 6, man. Shot House, Finest, Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah.
Can we start
Whitewash.
calling? So I'm whitewash. She's gonna call Mr. Morgan State now.
That's cool. Don't embrace that.
Of course, it's not a bad thing.
Nah, he's the king.
Why can't we whitewash?
Once a
Like,
king,
you know what?
always a king. All right? And your girl So Effing Classy, man. We out of here.
Same city, same friends if you're looking for me.